Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Footy Channel Ground Hopper. Tonight it's an on-league show. It's the start of a new series. So this is the first one. And obviously we've got a special guest on tonight as well. I'm joined by John from Gaming Blump, and I'm joined by non-league James Barlow. He's just gone off. He'll be back in a moment. He's coming back now. Here he comes. This can happen on lives. Good evening, guys. Hope you're both well.
Hi, Tony.
Yeah.
Hi.
So we'll just go through the little formalities before we start. So if you do enjoy tonight's stream, don't forget to smash the like, follow Sean the Sheeps there, and hit them thumbs up. It does help the channel. Also, if you're brand new to the channel, get down there, hit that subscribe, come join this great community, and also hitting the bell notification. That keeps you up to date with any lives, pre-records, or any match vlogs as well. If you do want to become a member of the channel, it's 99p a month. You can do that clicking the join button. And if you want to do a super chat by way of donating to the channel, then you can do that by hitting the $sign, all money reinvested in the channel, bringing you all these great shows as well. So yes, without further ado, let's bring in our guest, and it is the manager of Needham Market, Tom Rothery. Hi, Tom. How are you?
Hello. Yeah, all good. Thank you.
Yeah, brilliant. Let's start. Tom, you're a manager yourself. So, look, the last few days, it's been an absolute merry-go-round. Every time you look on Twitter, there's something else happening. We've had Ian Culverhouse has left St Albans, gone to Kingsland Town. We've had Gary Kimball left Whitlam Town, which was a shock. And he's gone off to Canvey Island after Peter Taylor resigned. And Kevin Hunter has took over at Whitlam Town, who was one of Gary's assistants. What a few days it's been, hasn't it?
That's non-league. I think that's why we all enjoy it. I think you always find there's quite a bit of movement after the sort of FA competitions, the FA Cup and the FA Trophy. There does seem to be a bit of movement, more so probably player movement, I suppose, with budgets being affected and things like that. But yeah, not in this case, but normally one manager position sort of creates another movement as well, doesn't it? I know it hasn't in this case, but you normally find that does have a bit of a knock-on effect. So yeah, it's quite interesting to see. Culverhouse to Kings Lynn's not that surprising, is it? It's his third time, so that kind of makes sense. Although I don't think St Albans are happy with the timing of it, but yeah, Gary's done well really, because he did really well at Whittam in his first spell, and then. I haven't seen him about for sort of 4 or 5 seasons. We actually played him in the FA Cup and they were strong. They were really organised, and so yeah, he had them going well. And obviously Canvey have looked at that and decided to obviously have a go with him, I guess. So yeah, I'm sure he'll do well there, to be honest.
Yeah, they've got a tough battle to stay up in the Eastern Premier. They're bottom of that league at the moment, so it's going to be a tough ask for him. But I think he's got plenty of time to turn it around, and let's hope he can do as well for them.
Yeah, so it's early days. They'll be. I think they've still got a chance. It's really early, so if he can get some momentum there, which I'm sure he'll try to do. Like I said, with his Whittam teams, they've always been quite sort of strong, resolute, and scored a few goals. So I'm sure he'll try and get them organised. And yeah, who knows? He'll have a go at it, definitely.
Absolutely. We'll just quickly nip through some comments here. We got MCFC fan saying hi. Obviously, because John's stream sharing as well. Lewis says, good evening to you, Lewis, as well. How are you, Max TV? Hi, Tony and guests. Hi to you, Jay. Hope you're well. Philip says, good evening, Tony, James. John, hope you're all well. Yeah, absolutely fine. And he says, good evening, Tom, as well. Hope you're well.
Hello. Good evening, Philip.
And he also says, it's always fantastic occasion with non-league sides playing bigger teams in the FA Cup. Yeah,
it's what we live for, isn't it? Really, the magic of the FA Cup. You can't beat it.
Yeah, because talking about, I'll just go to Tom on this one. Look, Tom, you are so unlucky not to get to the first round proper. Losing 1-0 to Western-super-Mare, and it's a heck of a trip as well, isn't it?
Yeah. It's always when you get to the fourth qualifying or the first round, you want either a winnable game or a money game, and kind of Western-super-Mare ended up neither really. So it was a tough game. I didn't even realise before we played them. They haven't actually conceded at home all season, so they're obviously really strong. And they were second. They're now top, I believe. So look, they were really strong. But on the day, I thought we played really well. We just didn't manage to do enough to win. They won 1-0. It was a bit of a scrappy goal, really. So that was like disappointing. But as I said at the time, really, I think to get to the fourth qualifying round, it's the third time in 4 seasons. So even that, I know it's not what you want because you want to get to the first round when you get to that point. But Needham have done it 3 times in 4 seasons. So for a team at our level at step 3, that's still an achievement, even though it's not the full achievement that you want. But ironically, the one time we didn't get to the fourth qualifying round was when we was actually at step 2 last season. So yeah, look, it was disappointing, and you're hoping if you get that far, then you can win, and then your dream is a first round tie against a league club. But obviously that wasn't to be. So yeah, we've had to sort of recover from that and try and focus more on the league and win some points and push us up the league, which thankfully we've managed to do. We won 3 straight, so that's been a good reaction off the back of losing that game.
Yeah, absolutely. Sam says hi. Philip says no real surprise to see Peter Taylor go from Canvey and they face a proper test to stay up. Yeah, he wasn't sacked. He actually just walked away, resigned. He actually left the club before the game finished. Believe it or not.
Did he? Wow.
Yes, that's what I was told, and I was told that from a reliable source as well. He actually did just walk out before the game ended. So, so not great. He didn't leave on great terms. Let's be honest.
Just want to say about the FA Cup as well, the comment you just made about getting to the fourth qualifying round, I think it shows how difficult it is for teams at step 3 and below, based on how few there are left. I think we've got 3 step 3 clubs and 1 at step 4 in the first round, and the rest are all National League North, South or National League sides. So it shows how difficult it is to get that far in the competition and what an achievement it is.
Yeah, I think with the FA Trophy, you've always got a little bit more of a chance to get further sometimes, because some of the sort of National League sides, depending on where they're at in their season, they may not focus on that. But I think with the FA Cup, the money that's involved and the glamour and everything else, any non-league team at whatever level is going to take that serious. So yeah, like I said, it's not the dream. You want to get to the first round, but I do think getting to the fourth qualifying round 3 out of 4 years is good going. But unfortunately, we've only managed to get to the first round once. But yeah, the like you said, the fact that there's only 3 step 3 and 1 step 4 team left, it shows you how hard it is. And I do think you need a little bit of luck along the way as well. You need the draw to be quite favourable to you as well, or certainly to give you a chance. And even the Western-super-Mare game, look, it was tough, but if it is at home, maybe that gives us a better chance of winning. Perhaps you haven't got the travel, you're playing on your own ground and things like that. But like I said, it's we on the day we weren't good enough, so that's we have to take that on the chin and move on.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think you look at that FA Cup first round. I mean, I was thankful to Malden and Tiptree, who were brilliant to come and link up with the channel. I sorted out with our owner and everything was sorted out. So the night the draw was made, they were on live with me at the same time, and it was absolutely fantastic that night. It was a great night. And but you look at the FA Cup and you think, yeah, there's some great ties. Like obviously Malden's going away to Port Vale on Sunday, which is going to be a tough game. But then at the FA Cup, anything can happen, as we know. I'm a Newcastle United fan, and I've seen us being beaten by the likes of Stevenage away. I've seen us being beaten by Cambridge United of all teams.
Comment on that one, Tony.
So and Hereford as well, obviously back in '72, but the year I was born. But yeah, I mean, as I say, I look at this round and I think the tie of the round for me, it's a non-league tie, and that is Chelmsford versus Braintree. What a heck of a tie that is!
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, Malden's tie is massive because of the level they're at, and they're playing a league club, obviously, so that's huge for Malden. And obviously, I've got obviously I hope Kev does well, someone I've worked with, so that would be good to see them do well. But
yes,
yeah, Chelmsford Braintree's huge. Obviously, you've got Angelo, because he's worked at Braintree as well. Obviously, Steve's worked at Chelmsford, and it's a local derby, and I don't think there's too much love lost between the sets of fans. So yeah, that's a huge game, absolutely huge.
Isn't that game sold out at the moment?
They sold
out and then put more tickets online, didn't they? So they've obviously, I would assume that means they'll be well over 2,000. So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, John Gaiman Blomp, he's doing a series this season, Tom. So what he done last season was he done the road to Wembley, where the FA Cup started from the first qualifying round all the way through to the final.
Right.
This season, he's covering the Southern League Central Premier. I'll now hand over to John, and he can explain to you exactly what he's doing, and he will be in Needham Market very soon.
Okay.
So there you go, John, if you want to explain what your series is all about and your rankings.
Yeah, so I saw a TikTok post at the start of the season which ranked all the stadiums in the Southern League Prem Central, and it said in the comments, I think it was you that actually sent it to me, James, and the guy who'd done it said, I haven't been to all of the grounds. He just looked online and seen. So I thought what I'm going to do is I'm going to get to every single ground and I'm going to rate them all properly. So I'm rating them on things like the atmosphere, the facilities, the view, things like that. So I've got categories. So atmosphere, view, facilities, food, accessibility, and my overall experience, basically.
Yeah.
So I'll get to all the grounds. I've been to 8 of them so far, and it's ranked out of 40 points. We've got
top at the moment?
Halesoe in town at the moment, top with 30.5. They also got the only perfect score that I've given so far was their playing surface, which was immaculate when I went. Artificial pitches, I just kind of by default give like a 3 out of 5. But Halesoe was, I couldn't work out whether it was grass. It looked that good.
No, it is a good pitch, to be fair. Yeah, that is a good pitch, and that's a good atmospheric ground as well. They get a big crowd, and yeah, so that is quite an amazing symmetry, really, because we're going there this Saturday.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. So and what I'm trying to do as well is I'm trying to get as many people involved from each club as well. And I've spoken to quite a lot of the managers so far in the series. So yeah, I think, are you at Royston next month? I think I might be seeing you at Royston.
No, we're home to Royston. Yeah, we're home to Royston on the 18th.
Okay, I'm definitely seeing you next month. I can't remember where you're at next month that I'm coming to. But yeah, so I've started off with basically the local ones, and I can see I'm Nottingham based, and I can see the journey's getting longer and longer.
Leiston will be a tough one for you.
Yeah, everyone keeps saying that.
Leiston's pitch is good as well, to be fair. Leiston have got a good playing surface.
Where do you think Needham Market would rank on that scale?
Well, the pitch is generally pretty good. Obviously, like all pitches, it can turn a little bit sort of January, February time. But the pitch, if you came now, is in really good condition. It has been for the last sort of 6 weeks. The facilities, I think, are really good. So I think we've got the perfect scenario. So we've got a grass main pitch, and then we have a 3G, which is used for training and the reserve team and the ladies team. So that's good. Then we've got the hub with like a balcony area that overlooks both pitches, so you can view on the 3G and the main pitch. And then we've just put a new stand in, which is beside the halfway line. So yeah, look, I think facility-wise, it's really good. Our crowds aren't as big as like Halesoe and teams like that. Our average is about 320, 330. So obviously, atmospheric-wise, we're not going to be on the same level as teams like Halesoe because they're getting regular over 1,000 and things like that. But facilities-wise, I think we'd be up there definitely.
I mean, that new stand's impressive because when I was at your last game against Leiston, when you lost 2-1,
I didn't think we was going to talk about that time.
I had a proper look at that stand, and I tell you what, I was very impressed with that new stand because obviously it wasn't there last season, it's obviously just being built, but really impressive.
The club's shown real ambition, really, because obviously it had to be done as part of the sort of step 2, and then obviously because we didn't manage to stay up at step 2, they could have turned around and sort of not done it and just kept the old stand, but they wanted to do that. So fair play to them. It shows a level of ambition, but also a little bit of pride in keep wanting to improve the facilities. And that's since I've been here I've been here since 2016. I've had a little spell away at Brighton, but I've been here 9 years on and off, and every year they're always trying to improve the ground and the facilities. So that's credit to people like Graham Emerson and Dave Clark and people like that behind the scenes that are always driving it on. So it's really good to see. And you say about the new stand, if you'd have come here, like when I came here in 2016, we didn't have the hub, we didn't have the 3G. It's, the improvements at the ground is unreal, really, in the space of, like I said, 9 years.
Yeah, because I said to John, he asked me, he says, do you think Halezone will get challenged by Needham Market, and I said quite possibly. I said the ground's really nice. I says you've got everything. I says, and the clubhouse is huge as well. So it's got everything there, everything that you want. And I said, I says I wouldn't be surprised. I says if it pushes Halezone or goes past Halezone.
Yeah, it's a good club.
That's not me being biased.
In the league, to be fair.
Well, I've been to Latimer Park, and that pushed it close. But I think Latimer Park, was just a case of I think what did it was Halezone's pitch was better because they were so close in terms of fan base. They were so close in terms of atmosphere. Because obviously Kettering are a massive club at this level as well. Yeah, so it was very close. And down at the bottom we've got, and it's something that the club can't really help at the moment, is Stourbridge, because they've got so many developments going on at their ground.
They've got a problem with the stand, haven't they?
Yeah, and I scored them low, and I thought I'm always conscious when I'm giving someone a low score, because I think the fans are going to come on my channel and attack me. But some Stourbridge fans came on and said, "I think you were kind to us there. Our ground's awful at the moment." So
I think as long as what you're saying is honest, I think most supporters will understand and see that, won't they?
Yeah, and what I'm trying to do as well is sort of highlight how good football is at this level, because the clubs, I keep saying to these guys, like, I find that step 3 is almost like the sweet spot of non-league football. We've got, like, the clubs are big enough, so they've got large fan bases in the cases of like Halesone and Kettering, but they're also still approachable at this level. So when I went to Halesone, I spoke to Russ Penn. They just got beaten 3-0 at home by Worcester. And some of his staff were like, "Oh yeah, you don't want to talk to him today," but he took the time to give me an interview and everything. So it's been a really enjoyable series, and I'm looking forward to maybe not so many of the journeys, but looking forward to completing it.
Yeah, I'll definitely keep an eye on that. It'd be interesting to see how you score us and how we do. But yeah, I agree with you. I think this level of football is a proper level of football, but there's still a little bit, not snobbery is not the right word, but as you go higher up through the levels, people are a little bit harder to approach and get hold of, and you kind of kept that distance a little bit more. Whereas at step 3, you definitely are. Look, for me personally, if I wasn't involved in football as much as I like Premier League games, I'd go and watch non-league football, because you can be properly involved in it, and you can get really close to it as well. And I think it's a good standard as well. That's the we try and play football, and a lot of teams at this level do. And I think the standard of football is improving. Personally, I think that definitely.
Just want to ask as well, out of interest, who's the best opponent you faced this season in the league?
Well, I'd probably say I think Harbour on paper are the strongest team. We haven't played Spalding yet, but I think Spalding, and the league table shows that as well. So Spalding looks strong, Harbour were strong, and have got good depth as well. So I think their squad, and that does make a difference. If you've got a strong squad of 16, that's one thing. But if you've got 18, 19, 20, that really can make a big difference. So those two, for me personally, are the strongest. And then you've got a lot of other good teams like Halesone that you've already mentioned, and teams like that. Kettering, obviously under a new manager, should come again, I would imagine. Halesone, Bishop Stortford were very good against us on the day. They were a real threat. So yeah, there's a lot of strong teams. Alderchurch are having a really good season, but yeah, the team that we've actually played will be Harbour, but we haven't played Spalding, Alderchurch and Halesone, of course, and teams like that yet. So obviously we'll find that out when we play them. Yeah. But I expect Harbour and Spalding to be in and around the top spot, definitely.
I'd have to agree with that. Having seen both teams, I've seen Spalding once, and I've seen Harbour on 3 occasions this season. And for me, Harbour are a defensive unit that will eventually break you down. Whereas Spalding are just going out to attack teams.
Yeah, they've got very good attacking players. Yeah.
They have. Yeah, I saw Spalding twice this season so far, but they're both in the FA Cup matches.
Yeah,
but they were
in a big
really
higher level, haven't they? Yeah.
Yeah, they were really good in them against Alfreton and against Dagenham Redbridge. They were really good in them. They just showed that you couldn't even tell there was like a level difference.
No. Yeah, I definitely think
look
those
good.
those two
Yeah.
look the strongest, definitely, or certainly will be in and around it. No doubt about
Well, they
it.
poached
I mean,
a player from Hereford. They poached Cisse from Hereford pre-season. I support Hereford, and they must have some financial power behind them as well.
Yeah, they've just got a new 3G as well, haven't they?
It's growing, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, I saw Spalding a few weeks ago when they played Bury Town at Ram Meadow, and to be honest with you, Bury were definitely the better side first half. They took the lead, and to be honest with you, Bury should have been 2 up by half time, because in that 5-minute spell up till the first half ended, Bury were on top. They were attack after attack after attack. They were desperately defending Spalding to try and get the ball away. And I just think in that moment, had Bury scored that second, they would have gone on and won that game.
Yeah.
There was a mad spell for about within 5 minutes of the second half where Bury conceded 2 goals. The second one being sloppy, from Bury playing sloppy play.
Yeah.
And then Spalding had a player sent off late on.
Yeah, so I watched your video. You did a video of it, didn't you?
Yeah. And then Bury really attacked them. But, they were so unlucky, Bury Town, in that game. But, to come out of that game only losing 2-1 to Spalding was a cracking result when you think that Spalding have spanked some teams this season, likes of Royston Town.
Yeah, so, I think Bury have already shown at home they're going to be fairly strong, to be honest. I think they've shown that already with the results and the performances that they've had.
Yeah, I still think they'll be okay in this league. I think they'll stay up. But it's a very, very tough league indeed.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, definitely.
And I suppose this is going to be my next question to you, Tom. I mean, obviously, I saw 3 games last season. When you played Leamington,
there's
Chorley, and
there's
Curtin
a couple of teams
Ashton.
I think they're in false positions at the moment.
And although there was a draw, a win, and a loss in them 3 that I came to, I thought you played very well against Chorley, considering at the time Chorley were high flying, and when they took that lead, and then they scored that second, and it was offside. But the way Chorley were attacking, I was actually fearing, thinking, I can see this going to be 4-5-0 win to Chorley at this rate, the way they're playing, because they were so attacking. But when it went in at 1-0 at half time, I thought maybe there's a chance here for Needham Market. And then the second half, you seemed to come out a little bit better than you were in the first half. And then you got that equaliser. And then right at the end of the game, that I don't know why. I mean, as a defender, why he did it, but it was stupidity.
Yeah,
the elbow, and then
madness.
got yourself sent off, gave the penalty away, and the rest is history, and you win the game 2-1. But I actually thought that day, the way Chorley started, they were going to run away with that game, and they didn't.
Yeah,
and that was great from yourselves to actually come back.
Yeah, I think last season we showed there was a couple of games where we got taught a few lessons, but in general we competed really well. We just didn't score enough goals. Our ball retention and things like that were pretty good. Defensively, we weren't too bad. We were reasonably solid. We just didn't score enough goals. We didn't carry enough threat, and like it always does when you go up the levels, you get punished for mistakes. And it felt like every mistake we made last season, we got punished for. If we made a mistake, they scored. It wasn't unlucky they've hit the post or they've just hit it wide. It was every game we made a mistake, we got punished. And then on the flip side, it then puts pressure on you as well. But when you're not scoring goals freely and you're making mistakes and getting punished for them, it's just difficult. And ultimately, last season we just weren't good enough in both boxes. Overall, we did okay, but we just weren't good enough in both boxes. And like I said, in most games we were competitive, bar the odd few. But you get that in a league season at any level, really. You're going to have days where you're not quite at it, and they are. But yeah, it's the big thing really for me this season was trying to improve both those boxes, and we have. I still feel we could do more because we're creating a lot of chances and not necessarily scoring as many as we should. But in general, I think the squad is slightly stronger this season than it was last season, ironically, which just is, it's just the way it's worked out. It's obviously not an intentional thing, but I do feel we're a little bit stronger this season, and obviously time will tell how strong. But yeah, I think last season in general we did okay, but just not quite enough.
Yeah,
I think you beat
it was such a
Hereford, didn't
shame.
you?
Sorry, John.
I was going to say, I
Go ahead, John.
think you took 4 points off Hereford, didn't you, last season?
No, we beat you 1-0 at Hereford, and then you beat us 2-0 at Needham. But that was a bit of a story of our season. I thought we played really well at home against you. Went in 0-0, I think, at half time. Then you scored a goal against the run of the play, and then we got sucker punch for a second. So that kind of did sum up the season. Just when we were on top in games, we just didn't score enough goals.
Yeah, we missed out on the playoffs on the final day by a point, I think it was in the end. But we had Scunthorpe and Kidderminster in our last 2 games. So, yeah, finishing. I think we actually ended up 10th, but I think points-wise, it was very, very close. And one goal would have got us in there.
So one thing I want to ask you, Tom, as well. I mean, obviously, back in February, we know Malden got taken over.
Yeah.
And then they obviously came and took Kevin Horlock away from Needham Market.
Yeah.
And you decided, no, I'm staying. You wanted to be the manager at Needham Market. Did Kevin want you to actually go with him to Malden, or was that just your sole decision to stay at Needham Market?
No, so there was discussions when Kev was leaving or before he left about me going with him. And to be fair, I worked with him 6 years. I loved it. I enjoyed it. I don't know if you've ever met him, but he's a proper character.
I have, yes. He's great.
He's a very likable guy. But the timing of it just didn't feel fair or right for me. Look, if it was just a question of whether I wanted to carry on working with Kev, the answer was 100% yes. Like I said, I thoroughly enjoyed working with him. He made football really enjoyable. We had good success, but it just felt timing-wise for me, it just didn't feel right. Especially, I think for me as well, if the club would have been in a different position, we wouldn't have been struggling, and it just didn't feel right. It just felt timing-wise wasn't right, and obviously me and Kev had that conversation, and look, his decision is different because obviously what they were offering him full-time footballing at the time. It's been well documented. He had 2 jobs, and he didn't really like one of his jobs, and he was working all the hours that sort of he had to work to do it. And then obviously the Malden offer was just a better offer for him. So that's his choice, and I wished him good luck at the time. I still do now. Like I said, I worked with him 6 years, so we had a really good relationship. I really thoroughly enjoyed working with him. He's just a funny bloke, really good lad, and we had some really good times, and we're successful as well, which obviously does make it more enjoyable. But we had some tough times as well in that spell, in that 6 years. But yeah, for me personally, it just felt, as much as I wanted to work with him still, the timing just felt wrong. It just didn't feel right for me. Obviously, it's different for me. I've got another job, and then the football's the second job. So for me, it's slightly different. And also, if I'm being brutally honest, there was the choice of, right, okay, do you want to take over and be the manager? And I hadn't done it since I'd come back to Needham. So obviously 2019 was when I left Brighton and came back to Needham. So it gave me the opportunity to be a manager again, and that did appeal to me, if I'm honest. As much as I kind of wanted to carry on working with Kev, it is also, when am I going to get another opportunity to manage another club? Especially at step 2, will I get this opportunity again? Because you never know with football. You might get an offer tomorrow. You might not get one for 5 years. Who knows? You really don't know what's around the corner. So for me, there's a couple of things. There was the main thing was timing, but there was also the element where I thought, you know what, I can be my own boss. I can run it how I want to run it, and why not give yourself a go at it? So it kind of just naturally fell that way, and I feel really like speaking to Kev at the time. Kev always felt that I would make that decision as well. He said that when I told him that I knew he was going to do that because of who you are and how you are, sort of thing. So I think he knew loyalty would make me stay, really, and that was probably the main thing. But like I said, if I'm being brutally honest, there was a little element of me that thought, I can be a manager again. Let's give it a go.
Yeah. You got to. There's a question here from Jay. He says, in pre-season, who do you find more difficult? Teams in the lower league than you or higher league? And are lower league sides more brutal?
You try and be a little bit clever when you're picking your teams in pre-season, because if you play lower league teams that want to kind of leave a mark on you and want to get your scalp, they can be a little bit physical and can be a little bit overzealous and things like that. And I'm sure on the flip side, when we're playing like a national league team, they may turn around and go, well, we don't want to play Needham because they'll try and kick us. But you definitely try and pick it. It's difficult. We've played Ipswich before in pre-season, and obviously Ipswich want to play you right at the start of your pre-season. So we played them in a behind closed doors pre-season when they were going into the Premier League. And I think they beat us 5-0, and it was 2 30-minute games. Probably didn't do us any good, like from a confidence point of view. But at the same time, like, you can't turn that down, because the experience and the overall of playing Ipswich is, when are the players going to get that opportunity? So yeah, you definitely try and pick and choose who you're going to play, and a lot of it comes down to the managers and who you know and things like that, just because you know how their teams behave and how they're going to conduct themselves, really.
Yeah, Owen hits the nail on the head there. Lots of teams are in a false position to it as a season in the Southern Central to be faced. I think it could go down the wire this season. I mean, you look at Royston, Sudbury, they're in the bottom four. Sudbury's manager's just left as well. Danny Laws, he's gone. You didn't expect them teams to be struggling, did you?
No, I think the thing is with the Southern Prem, like I said, is the year we won the league. I remember Mickleover won 10 out of 10 the first games, and everyone was going, right, they've won the league, it's done. Everyone else might as well pack up and go away. And then as the season went on, obviously I can't remember the exact form, but they didn't fall away, but obviously they weren't winning every game like they were right at the start. We ended up catching them up, and then probably about 5 games before the end of the season, they got a 12-point deduction for playing ineligible player in games. So there's so many things that can change. The season's so long, and I think the big thing is just trying to be as consistent as you can, and also when you've got momentum, making the most of it. So when you're in form, when all your players are fit, and when you're playing well, you've just got to make the most of it and get as many points on the board as you can, because there will be difficult spells.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest implosion last season was in the Isthmian League Division 1 North. Basildon United in November were top of that league and flying.
Yeah,
getting relegated at the end of the season. That's how bad it was for them. They dropped from top to the bottom 4 and went down, and now they're struggling in the Essex Senior League.
It can definitely change, and if it turns and goes in the wrong way, it can be quite difficult to stop it. But Basildon have quite a high turnover of managers as well. I don't think that's ever conducive with being successful. Personally, I think that always makes it tough.
Yeah. I mean, this guy here saying, the Worcester fan, he says, I think that from step 4 to step 3, you get 8 to 1,000 attendance, whereas step 5, it's like 500. No, I know this as a Worcester fan. I think for City getting to go to bigger stadiums, 6 ways is why. I mean, I see where you come from on that, but I went to a game. I know it was the final home game of the season for Harlow Town, and they were playing in the 10th tier last season. And the crowd there was 1,267 for a 10th tier game.
That's amazing. Harlow have been as high as step 3, haven't they? So they've probably still got a good fan base, I would imagine.
Yeah, they have, absolutely. Because one of the fans I spoke to there, he said he was a Tottenham season ticket holder. He says, and he's been a Tottenham fan all his life. He says, but he had a season ticket for like 30 years. And he said, you know what? I just gave it up and I thought I've had enough of this. And he says, and I've come to watch Harlow. He says, and I'd rather watch this football and go and watch Premier League football, because 1, it's a lot cheaper, and 2, you know what you're getting in non-league.
Yeah, without a doubt. I'm at Worcester City next Saturday, actually, to this fan on here.
Yeah. But,
I haven't been there yet, but the stadium looks impressive on the video.
I've never been to Six Ways either. It'll be my first visit there.
It's a rugby stadium, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it holds more than Bournemouth's Vitality Stadium in terms of capacity. I think it edges them out.
I think it's Bournemouth is 11,000 and they're 12,000, I think.
Something like that, yeah. Which is amazing for like step 3 of non-league. They were step 4. I mean, they weren't at Six Ways last season, were they? But they could just come up from step 4.
Yeah, last season they played I think they played the local team to me in the FA Cup and Boston Town, and they were really good in that. So
historically massive club though that probably shouldn't be that far down the pyramid.
No.
They're another big club at step 3.
Yeah, because I remember them playing the local team that I live near, Boston United, in step 2 about 7 or 8 years ago now.
Yeah.
Jay's got another question for you. Tommy says, who is your bogey team? Who's you here playing against? Or do you have a bogey manager here to come up against? There's a one for you.
I don't know if I want to say, actually. Trying to think, well, before this season, whenever we went to Bromsgrove, we never had a good result there, but we managed to go there and win 3-0 this season, so we've kind of got rid of that hoodoo. I'm trying to think. I don't think we've got too many good results at Redditch, if I remember in the past. So Redditch probably away from home, not been one of our best destinations. I don't think manager-wise, no, I don't think there's any manager that's really always had it over me, whether at Brighton City or here now. Not that I can think of, anyway.
Yeah, but that's a very good question,
That's a great
Jay.
question.
Thank you very much. I mean, one team in Bristol. There's another question for Tom here from WLB. Says, how did you find playing Barwell this season?
Frustrating. we played, on the day we played really well. First half we played really well. We were 1-0 ahead. Should have been further ahead. Didn't take advantage of that. And then second half, fair play to them. They came at us a little bit more, put more pressure on us. Got a dodgy penalty. And made it 1-1. Yeah, so a little bit frustrated, but they've definitely picked up the last few games. I've seen their results have been a lot better in the last 3 or 4. So yeah, I think they went. Was it Stamford? I think last game 4-0, wasn't it? So yeah, they've definitely not turned the corner, but they've definitely picked up in the last 3 or 4 games.
Yeah, as you said with Stamford, I'm surprised with them how they're not doing that well this season. When last season, I think it was, they missed out with a couple of games to go to the playoffs.
Well, so we played Stamford about 4 or 5 weeks ago, and I was speaking to their manager. He's a nice guy, actually, really nice guy. But he was saying they've had a few issues this season with strikers and things like that. So I think that's really sort of hurt them. But I mean, they came here, we beat them 4-1 on the day, but they were actually really good up until we went 2-0 ahead. But yeah, it is strange to see them down there, because obviously last season we didn't play against them. The season before they were really strong. They were just outside the playoffs, and then, like I say, last season they were right up there as well. So it'd be interesting to see what happens. But like I said, there's still a long way in the season to go. There's still nearly 30 games. So as much as they're struggling at the moment, I still feel they've got the nucleus of a pretty good team. So I wouldn't be surprised if or when they get the striker situation sorted.
Yeah,
I think they'll kick on from there personally. But just it's how far back they are when that happens.
I mean, Scott's got a question here. He says, what's your ambitions for this season? Is it straight back up, or a season of getting the team together and then push next season?
Yeah, I think with football you have to have ambition, and sometimes that's been my downfall, because you tell people you want to be right up there and you want to be competing, and then if you're not, people then use that stick to beat you with. But I'd always be that way. I think if you start a league season and you don't want to get promoted, or you don't want to win the league, or you don't want to be in the playoffs, I don't see what's the point of doing it. So you have to be respectful and realistic within that. So I think you have to understand when there's good teams, and sometimes they might have better resources than you and things like that. But for me personally, I want to be in and around the playoffs and as high as we can. So look, if we can do that, and if we're good enough to do that, then brilliant. If we don't quite manage it, then obviously it'll be down to me essentially and the club to obviously improve, to make sure that we're up there again next season. But yeah, look, for me personally, the ambition always has to be in and around the top playoff places and the league winners, because I just don't see the point of doing it otherwise.
Yeah,
there's a couple of teams for me that I think are in kind of false positions. I think we touched on Stamford, and I don't think. I mean, I haven't actually seen them yet this season, but I still, with the squad they've got, I still don't think Stamford are going to finish down the bottom. And the other one is Royston. I know I saw them get hammered at Spalding, but Spalding were very, very good. And until Spalding actually broke them down and scored, Royston looked dangerous. I know they're struggling at the moment, but I've heard other people say as well, like, the performances just aren't getting results. As soon as they start actually racking up points, they'll pull themselves away. And I think I have to agree with that. I don't know if you've played Royston yet.
We played Royston. It was the Tuesday after we played Barwell. So again, I thought we were the better team that day, but maybe I'm just biased. But we drew 1-1. But the thing is with Royston have had kind of a little bit similar, not similar to Needham, but obviously they had Steve Castle was manager there for a long time, and you knew exactly what Royston were going to play, how they were going to turn up. They had a lot of experience, and I think obviously Chris going in there, I think it was last season, might have been the season before when he went in there. Obviously, he's changed things. They play a little bit more football, probably than the older Royston teams used to do. They've still got quite a bit of experience in the team. So yeah, I've seen like quite a few of his, because I follow him and he follows me on Twitter. And I've seen him say quite a few times that they were unlucky and haven't got the points that they deserve. And again, it goes back to what you said about step 3 is brutal. You know, you don't take your chances, you get punished. As much as I'm saying about step 2 was brutal last season, step 3 is not a walk in the park. And if you're just not quite at it, or you don't take your chances, you know, it's tough. And it's also one of them leagues where you can get momentum, but you can lose that momentum really quickly. And
Absolutely.
You can be on a bad run of 3-4 games, and all of a sudden you're looking down rather than up, and things can change. A bit like we're saying, we expect Stanford to turn it round, like Barwell have shown in the last 3 or 4. They've won 3 or 4 games, and all of a sudden they're comfortably in mid-table now, sort of looking towards the playoffs. So it can turn really quickly. But both of those sides, I would expect to improve on what they're doing at the moment, definitely.
I need to also quickly mention Quorn. Did anyone expect them to do quite as well as they're doing? I mean, I saw them last season and I thought they cause a few shocks in this league, but I didn't think they do as well as they are doing at the moment. They're looking very good.
Yeah, they're a bit of an unknown to me. The only thing is that they're just down the road from where my son's at uni, so I'm going to definitely go and get him to scout a few games for me of them. But I know the manager, Ryan Beswick, so he used to play at Tamworth at step 3. Yeah. So yeah, he's still playing. So he was always a really solid player for Tamworth. So yeah, I don't know much about them. Obviously, I've seen a few of their games, and they're definitely going well. So yeah, they've certainly they certainly look a threat this season.
Brilliant club as well, I need to add. Fantastic club. Yeah. Very welcoming club.
Philip's got a question for you, Tom. He says, what would you say was your team's best performance so far this season?
Put me on the spot there. There's a few for different. I don't know, actually. So I thought we played really well against Bury the other night, although I would say we were brilliant for 35 minutes and then we're a little bit sloppy after that. Stourbridge we were good against again for 35 minutes, and obviously Kettering Saturday was a really solid away win. So there's been a few okay. Stamford again. So yeah, in general really I think we've played okay. There's been a couple of games, obviously Harborough we weren't brilliant, especially in the second half, and they punished us. And Bishop Stortford we weren't great on the night, and they punished us. But in general we've played not bad this season really, which I do think we could have done a bit more and taken more chances, but in general we played pretty well, to be fair. But yeah, probably Stanford, Stourbridge, and Bury have been our 3 performances. But I'm sure someone will turn around and go, "Oh, what about this one?" And I forgot about it. So
I've got to counter that as well, Tom. What was the worst performance you put in this season?
Well, so again, this is a strange one. So Bishop Stortford came and absolutely did a job on us. But honestly, if it was just down to chances, we had probably 8 or 9 chances on the night. They probably had 7 or 8 and scored 4 of them. But on the night, we couldn't hit a barn door, and we were just off it on the night. And they were really dangerous going forward, and they hurt us on the night. So, but it was a really quite a bizarre game, to be honest. But that's definitely the worst performance. Yeah.
And to go on to that, I know you've talked about your best and your worst performance, but what's your most surprise performance this season? The one that you didn't get anything, but then you have, or something like that.
I don't know. I don't ever go into a game thinking you can't get anything. I just don't believe in that. I don't know. Not surprised. Let me think. Well, the surprise one's probably Bishop Stortford again. To be honest, just because
they do look very dangerous, though, don't they?
They're a real threat because they leave players high up the pitch, and in transition they're a problem. And on the night they definitely caused us a problem.
Scott says, no surprise for Real Bedford being there. They're good to see Needham getting a 0-0 with them. I mean, were you impressed with Real Bedford?
Well, to be fair, I enjoyed that. I thoroughly enjoyed that game because we both tried to play football, and it was a really good game. We both tried to press each other, and on the night it was a really good. It's strange, really, but I always say to the lads, I want to stand there and want to enjoy watching us play, and I did really enjoy that game, even though it was a 0-0. It was actually a really good game of football. So, yeah, it's interesting to see that they had a rough start, didn't they? Lost a few, and then they've really picked up again over the last 6-7 games. So, but yeah, footballing wise, that I really enjoyed that game. It was a really good game of football.
And then, of course, you've got to go down there yet to Real Bedford. So I saw a documentary apparently in the away dressing room. They play really loud rock music just to try and disturb the away team. So you've got that to look forward to, Tom, when you go to Real Bedford.
Suggest some songs for them, might you?
Yeah.
Apparently the tunnel's very dark as well.
A little bit of Queen. I don't mind a little bit of Queen, so it depends what it is, I guess.
It's probably heavy metal or something like that.
I'm not
Real
so keen on
Bedford.
that. Yeah, not so keen on that.
Yeah, but I mean, as I said, I was at your game against Leicester, and obviously not the best of games, was it? Really, I know you got on level terms, but then Leicester took the lead again, didn't they? And then they just sort of hung on for it.
Yeah, I thought first half we started really poor first half, and again, fair play to them. They started well. They got on the front foot, got ahead, and then I thought sort of last 15 minutes of the first half we improved. And then second half, to be honest with you, I think we've done everything but score, and then they've just hit us on the break. But yeah, again, they've got lots of threats on the break, so in transition they're quite dangerous. But yeah, on the day, I thought second half we did more than enough to win the game, really. But credit to them, they did the important thing. That's they got a 2-1 win. So it doesn't really, look, at the end of the day, it's all about winning games, isn't it? It's not necessarily about how you play sometimes.
Yeah, Jay's asking a promotion or a cup run. What would you prefer?
Promotion. I think. Look, don't get me wrong. We've had some amazing cups. So getting to the first round and the FA Trophy, the games at against Yeovil and things like that. I don't think the Yeovil game away will never be bettered. I don't think while I do football, I don't know if that ever gets better than that. To be honest, because it was just such a mad day. Everything just on the day was incredible. But I just think the promotion is more satisfying because it's a year's worth of hard work, or 9 months, however long it is, of hard work of keeping everyone together, and during that spell you're always going to have tough times, and so I think the promotion always outdoes the cup run personally. Although I'm sure people at a club that are making lots of money out of the cup run would always say a cup run.
Yeah, Owen's asking what you thinking the game will be like against Heelzone at the weekend.
Yeah, it'll be tough. I've watched them. They're a good side. They're very good going forward again. So we'll have to deal with that and stop their threats. And they like I said, they get a good following as well. So it's a good ground to go to, but a tough ground to go to as well. So yeah, we'll have to be at our best, I think. But we'll go there and be positive and see if that's good enough.
You got to try and keep Jason Cowley quiet, haven't you?
Yeah,
another one of our players
they've also got Finn Holmes from Stourbridge, and he's a good player as well. So they're both dangerous, very dangerous.
Ty Barnett's just gone there as well, I believe.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Sam's asking, what is your ambitions as a manager?
Just go as high as you can, really. Be successful and go as high as you can.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Philip's saying there, it's a real surprise to see Cambridge City in the relegation zone in the Isthmian League Division 1 North. It is. I'm very surprised how bad they've actually done this season, to be fair.
Yeah, I think with the new stadium and that, I think everyone always expected them to kick on from that point, didn't they? Because they've had so many years of the problems, the issues with the stadium, and I think once they got into the new stadium, I think everyone expected that to be right. Okay, they'll really push on, and that hasn't been the case. But they've got Mickey Spillane in there now, haven't they? So I'm sure with his contacts from Chelmsford and things like that, I expect them to do better. I expect them to move up the table now. So it'll be interesting to see how he does.
Yeah, I'm going to bring up the table, the Southern League Central table, as it is here. There we go. And as you can see there, obviously, you're just outside the playoffs, only on goal difference from Real Bedford, who have got 3 goals better off than yourselves. Is playoffs the minimum you want this season, Tom?
Yeah, I mean that's the ambition, but like we've touched on previously, there's no guarantees. But yeah, I'll be disappointed if we're not in and around the playoffs. But who knows what happens during the course of the season? If in 3 months' time you've lost 2 of your best players for whatever reasons, then you might have to reevaluate. But as it stands now, I certainly believe with the squad that we've got, our ambition should be to be in the playoffs. But there's a lot of good teams. I can't see because my eyesight's a little bit dodgy now, but I can see you've got Spalding, Top Harbour, Corn, Redditch, and Real Bedford, isn't it? And then Leiston. So there's not any weak sides in there. So yeah, that's the ambition, and time will tell whether we're good enough to do that. But that's certainly the ambition from me and the players with the squad that we have. And like I said a few minutes ago, that's I think what's the point of doing it if you just want to come mid-table, really, isn't it? I don't see the point of doing it, really. But
if you look at
the same time,
you know
what I mean? There's no guarantee, so you finish where you finish, and you deserve to finish where you finish. So, but yeah, time will tell, I guess.
And then at the bottom there, you've got obviously Stamford are right at the bottom there on 4 points. I mean, that they need 3 wins to get out the relegation zone, and you think where they're going to get them 3 from.
That's when it becomes tough. When you start, we had that last season, obviously with the North, and I think when you look at it and you're struggling to win games, and then you're looking at it and go, right, well, we need 2 wins, we need 3 wins to get out of the bottom 4. That's when you can start losing a little bit of belief.
Stourbridge are in it as well now.
Yeah,
I really don't want to see Stourbridge go down. Got friends there. Hopefully they'll pull it around.
Yeah,
but it's such a fantastic league. Again, the reason why I'm covering it this season is anyone can beat anyone in that league. I do think that probably by the end of the season, Spalding and Harbour will probably have opened up a bit of a gap from what I've seen. But then I haven't seen your lot play yet. I haven't seen Real Bedford play yet. So be interesting to see. I thought Bishop Stortford looked very good, but they seem to have kind of fallen off a little bit now.
Yeah, they're very up and down, Bishop Stortford. Yeah, very up and down, but on their day they're good. Yeah, definitely. But like we touched on earlier, I just think it's a tough division. So I personally don't see anyone running away with it. But who knows? You just, like I said, you don't know. And again, it comes down to resources. I think if a team is right up there, and then say you're having you get a possibility of bringing in a player that's going to make a real difference. I think that can sort of change what I'm saying now as well. So. Yeah, look, I think it'll be tight. I think there'll be 3 or 4 teams that are right up there, and then come the last month, I'm sure it'll be 1 or 2 teams fighting out.
Sam says, "What will happen to Sudbury now after the manager has gone?" They've got an interim manager at the moment. It's up to him to how well he does to see if he gets the job full time or not. If not, they'll have to look for another manager, I suppose. But only time will tell with Sudbury. When I did a preview on this league at the start of the season, I did actually have Sudbury in the bottom 4, and surprisingly, I had Stamford in the playoffs.
So did I.
Where
and I had
Needham
top to win it, to go straight back up to National League North. I did, yes.
I've always liked you, Tony.
Just outside for me, sorry.
The reason I said Needham Market to win it, because with coming down from National League North, you want to get back to that league. And what better way to bounce back first time of asking? Yes, I know you lost a few. I know you lost a few players, like Tevin Allen, who is a cracking player, by the way. But, to get it turned around again, and now that you're near the playoffs, it's absolutely fantastic. And, I'd love to see Needham get back up into the National League North. I mean, as you rightly say, it is a tough league. I mean, I was there when you lost to Curzon Ashton 3-2, and so unlucky in that game to lose that 1-3-2.
They're a very good side as well, Curzon.
They are.
Yeah, because it was weird after that game, because I'd been talking to a couple of, I think must have been a couple of directors or whatever from Curzon Ashton, and it was funny because the day after, I looks at my phone, there's a follow request from Curzon Ashton who were following me, so I followed them back. But I mean, Bedford Town have come out of this league and gone up to National League North, and they're actually doing pretty well. I went to Bedford Town's last game of the season when they played Stourbridge, and they won 2-0 to get the promotion.
Mm.
And it's a lovely ground, Bedford Town. It really is. And I thought they were terrific that day. And it was actually nice because when I put my vlog out, the club actually commented on it as well and said, they were actually favourites for relegation. Then they've now ended up subscribing to my channel as well, which is, it's just crazy to think that I've got like a Step 2 team now who are subscribing to me. And, and they were really nice there at that club. And it's an amazing achievement that they got promoted last season from the Southern League Central when they were favourites for relegation. So it just shows you, football, anything can happen, can't it?
Yeah,
It can.
definitely. Good momentum, definitely. But like I said, even this season, Bedford and Telford they're doing okay. They're still only just above that relegation zone. That National North's a tough league. That is a tough league.
Yeah, it was.
As a Hereford fan, I know that too well. We've been stuck in it for 8 years now, and
yeah, that is a tough league.
Yeah, we were stuck in it for 14 years as a Bosch United fan, and then finally got promoted. So
yeah, I think the trouble with us is we don't really strengthen, and then the league kind of strengthens around us. And I do think we got out of Step 3 at the right time, because honestly, if Hereford were to drop back into the Southern Prem Central, it would not be easy to get out of it, even with the resources that Hereford have got. I think they might struggle to get straight back up.
The thing is, you'd be another big fish where teams want to go to that ground. Like even for us last season, that was one of our highlights, going to Hereford.
Yeah, that's good to hear. We're still one of the big clubs in that league.
Yeah,
I think we're something like behind Macclesfield and Chester. I think attendance wise, I think we're generally in the top 3 or 4 attendance wise, which is, even when we're not doing very well, we're breaking 2,000.
I think it's the history associated with the club as well, isn't it? The stadium and everything that comes with it.
But you look at, as you were saying, Tony, about Needham Market going straight back up. But you look at like Banbury when they came down, they only got like mid-table and didn't make their way back up. And now this season they're bottom half of mid-table.
This is what I was trying to say though. As much as, like I said, sometimes you get beaten with that stick. I'd always say, we have that ambition. I've got that ambition. You want to be right up the top, but then people then hit you with a stick when you, like, I don't know. After we lost against Western-super-Mare, I was getting a little bit of flack about where we were in the league, and you just think, well, one, don't judge us till the end of the season, but also it's not an easy league. I was trying to show that ambition in the summer and say, look, we'll be competitive. I fancy us to do well, but it's a tough league. I already knew Harbour and Spalding were going to be strong because of the players that they were signing. Like you said, Corn probably surprised a few. There's always teams that you're not expecting to maybe be up there that are strong as well. Kettering, that you would expect to be strong. It's not an easy league. So, I think anyone dropping down from the north, they're never going to come into this league and just walk it and go straight back up. I just don't see that happening. So, it's a really tough league, and I think for us to be successful this year, one, we'll have to do well, and if we are, it won't be a walk in the park if we end up being in the playoffs or wherever we end up finishing.
I mean, where do you think you look at Kettering Town now? They're mid-table, which is surprisingly for a club that size. They've lost obviously Neil Ranger, who's gone off to Wellingborough now.
Yeah.
So they've probably lost one of their main threats. Do you see them being up there at the end of the season, or do you think mid-table is where they're going to end up?
They lost Loza as well, didn't they?
Yeah.
Well, the new manager coming in, obviously Liam's got promoted from that league, so he'll have contacts and he'll have ideas of players that he wants to bring in. So I think Kettering will be better as the season goes on. And again, 2-3 weeks ago they were second, so I would imagine Kettering will be in and around it. I'd be surprised if they're not.
I think they've always got that pull for players as well, being one of those massive clubs at this level.
Yeah, definitely.
I think they're always going to be able to attract the players. So if things aren't going well, I think they've got that ability to just go and poach a few players from other clubs, sort of in and around the level.
Yeah. I'd expect them to be in and around the playoffs, definitely.
Yeah, I think I had them just outside the playoffs in my prediction. I had Halesoe in town winning the title, though.
Okay.
And I still think they'll probably make the playoffs. But, they can't afford to fall too far behind the top 2 if they're going to push for that title.
And I thought it was too close to call with the predictions for this league, so I didn't do any.
It was very hard, particularly to pick teams going down, because
Yep.
there's so many, like, even people said to me at the start of the season, Barwell got relegated last season. They had a reprieve, and I looked at the players they were bringing in, and I said, like, I think Barwell will be okay because they've really made the most of that reprieve, and the players that they've brought in they've made smart recruitment. So, and they're looking good. So it's very hard to pick teams that you're going to send down in these predictions.
I think again with Barwell, Jimmy's been at this level a long time, so he'll know players, he'll know what needs to be done at this level. So I think if you get that reprieve, I'd be surprised if we didn't make the most of it, which it looks like they're going to.
But look at Redditch as well, where they were last season compared to where they are this season. And I've been to Redditch's ground. I think it was like the 5th or 6th one I covered, and they played Harborough. And in the first half, they matched Harborough, but in the second, Harborough came out and they just stepped it up a level. They were immense that day, and they ended up winning 3-0 in a game that was very close. So that was kind of when I thought, yeah, Harborough are going to be right up there at the end of the season. They look so good.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember when Boston were in the 4th tier of English football. Yes, I think a lot of people do.
Yeah,
they've come. Yeah, they were a steady league club as well, weren't they, at the time? Boston under Steve Evans, I believe.
Yes, they were, and then he did some dodgy stuff, which made us nearly bankrupt to the point where we got relegated to what is now the Northern Premier Division North. We got relegated to, so we couldn't play in the National League. We got relegated to that, and then since then we've been in that league and the other 2 leagues above. So, yeah.
I've just checked my fixtures as well, Tom. It's actually St. Ives I'll see you at in a few weeks' time.
Okay, on the 15th. Yeah.
15th, yeah.
Okay. You'll have to introduce yourself.
Yeah, it'd be good if I can get a quick 5 minutes post or pre-match, if possible. I like to get a few interviews on my channel when I come down to these.
Yeah, no problem.
Nice one. Appreciate it.
You got any questions for Tom, James?
I think I've said them already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so I mean, when last season, when obviously back to the National League North, Tom, when you signed Teddy Collis, I thought at the time that's a heck of a signing because he'd been banging them in for Brighton-Sea. Because I've seen Brighton-Sea quite a bit last season, and I'm actually got a good friendship now with Ryan Salter, who's the manager there. Great guy, Salts, by the way, great guy. I saw him on Saturday actually at Milton Old Town. He's absolutely brilliant, that guy.
So Ryan used to play. Ryan used to play for Brighton-Sea when I was assistant, and James Webster was the manager.
Yeah.
It's going back a few years, that.
Yeah, true. I mean, there was times when, like, as I see the games I was at, I mean, there was a couple of times I saw Teddy sort of struggle a little bit, probably trying to adjust to the level. I mean, because when you go 2 levels up, it's one heck of a step, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a big jump. He came in initially, he did really well, first few weeks, and then he found it a little bit tougher. The physical side of it, I think he found tough at times. But then he went to Farnborough at the start of this season, did really well. Obviously, he's now moved to Billericay, so look, it's probably done him good coming to us and sort of seeing that level and what was required and what he needed to do, maybe to make that step up. He showed it in flashes and glimpses, definitely, and he's certainly got ability. There's no doubt about that. As he showed at Brighton, like I said, he showed it at times with us. And he's gone on and scored at Farnborough a few goals, and obviously now he's moved to Billericay. So, and he scored the other day. I saw for him. So, yeah, he's a good player. He's a nice lad as well. Good lad.
Is he permanent at Billericay now? Is he?
Yeah, he moved from Farnborough. Yeah, he moved from Farnborough to Billericay.
Yeah. I mean, I saw at the beginning of the season, well, pre-season it was, Mildenhall played Lakenheath, and because, like I say, Mildenhall's literally 10 minutes from me, and I play for their walking football team. But I saw Lakenheath play, and they had this keeper in goal. He was absolutely fantastic. He was saving everything. He looked really, really good. And I actually spoke to the Lakenheath manager during the game as he was standing in the dugout.
Well.
And I said, "Bye, he's a heck of a keeper." And he went, "Oh yeah," he says, "he's come from Needham. He's only about 17, 18. He says he played 6 times in National League North." I went, last season he went, yeah, and I went, I says, well, he obviously the games I went to, he wasn't playing in goal line. I says, but he's a terrific keeper. And he says, we've got him from Needham.
He didn't play for us, but he always used to come training. He's a nice lad, Rowan Tucker.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a good lad. He's just moving to Brampton, funnily enough. So I spoke to Brubs about that the other day. Yeah, so but yeah, he's a good lad. He's a really, we call him Catamol because he looks a little bit like Lee Catamol.
Oh yeah.
No, he's a good lad. He's a really nice lad. Yeah, he's a great lad.
Is he still at Needham, or has he just gone permanently away?
No,
now?
he's kept sort of training with us on and off, but he's been at Lakenheath since the start of this season. But yeah, like I said, he's moving from there as we speak, I believe.
Yeah, actually, speaking about Brantham, I'm going to ask you this question to see what you think, because I mean, obviously, you know, it, you know, we gotta have the drums at Needham Market, but there was a statement come out a couple of weeks ago that the Brantham supporters, because the residents have been complaining about the drum banging on a midweek, and so they've said now that they can't play that drum midweek. And if they want to play the drum on a Saturday, they can't start playing the drum until 2:45 in the afternoon, 15 minutes before kickoff. If they do break that rule, the drum will be taken away altogether. Now, if you live near a football ground, you've got to expect noise. You've got to expect, you know, drums and things like that. I mean, you've probably seen the statement yourself, Tom. I mean, what do you think of that? I think it's absolutely ludicrous, if I'm honest.
It is. It's a little bit. It's disappointing, isn't it? Because I know with Brantham, it's younger lads as well, and you want these younger lads coming through and enjoying the football, and clearly that's part of it. The drums and everything else, and it's a bit like Needham. They, you know, the lads that come here, it does add to the atmosphere. It really does add to the atmosphere. But we had it a couple of times last season where, trying to think of the grounds, but they weren't allowed to take the drum to the ground. We were told that on the email that came through to confirm the game and that. So look, it's disappointing. Like you said, I can understand it if you're living near the ground and that, but like you said, you know that when you move there, don't you? So yeah, it's a shame to see. Definitely, it is a shame to see, because like I said, you want the young lads coming and enjoying it, and like I said, they do add to the atmosphere as well. So yeah, I did see that and think not sure how that sits really.
Yeah, they've. If you want to know, they've banned drums at Boston United now, so nobody's allowed to bring one in there. So
yeah, I don't understand what harm it causes really. You know.
Yeah.
It just adds to the atmosphere, I think, and the way I look at it is, well, and I've said this to a few people, if they go ahead and ban it altogether, the you know, the drums at Brantham, I can see their fans just like totally like just going right down, and then at the end of the day, a club needs their fans, you know, for the revenue to come into the club. A club with no fans won't exist, will it?
No, definitely not.
So yeah, the drums do certainly add to the atmosphere, and yeah, I like it when you go around different grounds because they're all got their drums out, and you know, I mean, I was recently on holiday in Dubai, and what they'd done there when I went to a football match there in Dubai, which was an absolute fantastic experience, by the way. And they've got a megaphone and the drums, and do you know what? It was absolutely fantastic, the atmosphere, and I thought that's what it should be like.
It's exactly the same like that in a lower league team as well in Step 5, near where me and John live, in Kimberley Miners Welfare. They have their drum and their little ultra group that now go to games. That one, they followed me
for years. You know, it's just round the corner from me, but I haven't been to Kimberley for years.
Yeah, they followed me on one of the socials recently and they literally have a drum and stuff. And if they can do that, I bet you they would lose their little core 10 or 11, or maybe even 20.
It's just crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I think they would lose them, and it would just be a shame for them young kids who are probably between, like, I don't know, 10 and 20, all not being able to bang their drum and make the atmosphere they do for their team.
Yeah, I mean, I was at March Town the other night when they beat Histon 3-0, and there was a little lad there on his drum. He must have only been about, I would say, maybe between the age of 9 and 12. Banging his drum, singing away, you know, and it was just absolutely fantastic to hear. But if you look at grounds like Cambridge United, they've got a housing estate right next to it. And you don't see them complaining about 3,000 fans coming out of Cambridge United making a noise on a night time. So I just think it's a bit silly, really, to be complaining about a drum going off at night. If I live near a football ground, I'll think, well, I expect that. I live near an Air Force base, and I hear planes going off. You know, I hear the jets coming out, and you know. But at the end of the day, that's why. But I live there, so I've got to put up with it. It's the same if you live near a football ground.
Now, because our lads have just won in the FA Youth Cup, so it's going off downstairs.
They've just won, have they?
Yeah, they beat Erith. So yeah, they're into the second round, which is good.
Oh, brilliant! Excellent. Has anybody got any other questions for Tom?
I don't think so. I think I've covered everything, really.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, and the next you'll see me at Needham on the 18th of November, because that's the next game I can get to at Needham. Because obviously I'm off to next weekend. I'm off to Lewis, so I'm going to go and see what the Dripping Pan has to offer.
That's a nice round.
Yeah.
I'm yours on the 6th of December when you play Quorn.
Oh, right, yeah.
But yeah, I'll be down your way then.
Cool.
That'll be good.
And I'll try and get to one after Christmas.
You should.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think of how Brentwood are doing, Tom? I mean, they're in the Isthmian League Premier.
Yeah, they're doing really well.
On top of that,
got, my old skipper, Matt Cripps, centre half for them.
Yes.
So yeah, they're good. They're going really well. And Daniel, I'm not going to even try and pronounce his surname, but Daniel, who scored 40-odd goals last season, who scored
Daniel Ogilvy.
That's the one. Yeah. So yeah, they're going well. Yeah, good luck to them.
Yeah, he was absolutely immense last season for Brentwood Town, and he's done it again this season. He's banging the goals in again, and the thing is, he was offered by a few professional clubs were looking at him, and Brentwood actually thought they were going to lose him, but then he decided, no, I'm sticking around, I'm staying, and
fair play.
Probably their best summer signing.
Oh, definitely, yeah, massive, loads of goals, yeah. But yeah, they've done really well.
Jay says, think how poor Luton feel when your nana's trying to watch East End as the fans are in her back garden. And Wacky says, like someone buys a house built in the 70s next to a club that's been hundreds of years, then they complain about the noise. That's absolutely true. The club's been there longer than the houses, so yeah.
Yeah, a lot of cases, yeah.
But we'll let Tom go. It's been absolutely fantastic having you on, Tom.
No problem.
Thank you for coming on.
Brilliant to meet you, Tom.
Yeah,
nice to meet you all, and I'll see you at the game soon.
See you
on the 18th, Tom, and hopefully grab an interview off you as well.
Lovely, yeah. Cheers. Take care. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Cheers, Tom. Thanks, mate. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
What a top bloke.
So, yes,
really
absolutely
nice
brilliant. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Excellent guy. I mean, you know, what have you made of that tonight then, John?
Really good to get him on. Really good to get an insight into a Step 3 football club. Obviously, I'm covering a lot of Step 3 clubs, so yeah, good to get his insight into it. Looking forward to meeting him at St. Ives in a few weeks' time, and then obviously 6th of December, I'm down at Needham Market, and I think I'm going to be driving through these grounds November, December, so I think I might be able to finish the series in January. So yeah, see how that goes.
Yeah. And what's your thoughts, James?
Yeah, it just seemed he gave us a lot of insight into the club, into how they played last season, how they played this season, and as we all know, as John knows more than we do, of course, it's a really hard league, that one, a really competitive league, and we know with where the teams are. Like just looking at the table now on my screen, you can see that you've got like teams that, as you rightly say, should not be where they are, but they are because of struggles with trying to find players, trying to get all the budget that they need, or even losing players. So it's nice to see the insight of how that is and how he is as well. And it's interesting as well that he didn't take a job for the money. He took a job because he wanted to develop his career and be a manager.
It's fair enough
Yes.
as well.
Which I think is a really, really good thing to do, because sometimes it's not always about going somewhere where your person you've worked with all them years goes. It's sometimes about doing what's best for your career. And I think for him, it was probably best to get the experience of being a manager at this level.
Totally agree.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is our first show of doing this. We're going to do this one on a Thursday, and we will get different guests on each week. With Tom being our first guest, and as I say, absolutely fantastic to hear from Tom tonight. He's followed me for quite a long while on Twitter now anyway, I think since last season, and it was great to see him, and I'll see him on the 18th as well. And it was absolutely fantastic. Everybody coming on tonight with their questions as well. I mean, some brilliant questions in there tonight. And yeah, it's been a really, really good show tonight. It really has.
Really enjoyed it.
Enjoyed it.
And I would say, if you want to check out results and things like that, keep an eye on that Southern League Central Premier, because I tell you what, it's a heck of a league, and it's a great one. It's a great one to watch out for, and just keep having a look at the table and that. Refresh yourselves every weekend or whatever. Just have a look whenever. But there's some great leagues. People underestimate non-league football, but I can tell you now, non-league football is on the rise. Crowds are on the rise. And some people would rather go to a non-league game than go to a Championship or Premier League or League One game even. So,
same here.
So I always say, if your team isn't playing on a Saturday afternoon, get yourself along to your local non-league team, give them a bit of support, because even if you go along to a game, say you've got your wife and your 2 children, most grounds are under 16s are free to get in. So all you're paying for is yourself and your wife. So you're talking 20 quid, or even the father just taking his 2 kids, you're talking 10 quid to get in. Then you talk, depending which league you go to, obviously some places are like £15, but wherever you're going to, and then get yourself a drink, something to eat, and it's still a cheaper deal than going elsewhere. So absolutely. I always say, get yourself along. And I know some people think, it's only non-league football, football's not great, but actually some of the football is fantastic to watch.
Oh, it is.
Yep.
And absolutely. You have no VAR.
No. That's the best thing. But no, just very quickly before we do end this, we do have some great games though in that Southern League Premier Central this weekend. Just very quickly giving you a couple of games for you. Bottom the relegation zone at the moment, we have Stourbridge versus Stamford.
Yeah,
that's going to be interesting. So what happens there? You've also got Alvechurch versus Spalding, and the other one that I thought was really an interesting one too, just to see if they're in a false position, Royston, to see if they can keep the lead, keep one of the top flying teams at bay, and that's Harborough.
Oh, well,
that's going to be tough. Game.
Yeah, so
I think Harborough will probably find a way to break them down, though, for what I've seen from Royston, because the same happened against Spalding. Like they did defend well, but eventually Spalding found a way through, and Harborough, one of those teams that are always going to find a way to break someone down.
Yeah, so just if you want, sorry, go on, Tony.
Yeah, you've got Sudbury versus Worcester City, which is a huge game. That's a 6-pointer for both sides. That is.
Yeah. You've also got, of course, Bury versus Banbury.
Bromsgrove. 6-pointer.
Yeah, Bromsgrove versus Leiston, and Barwell v Redditch as well in that league. So all games are just going to be tight, because that league is so tight at the moment, as we know. I'm looking at the table. If you want to
see my rankings as well, check out the videos on my channel, because I've ranked 8 of the grounds so far, and I'll be ranking the other 14 over the next couple of months.
If you think about it as well, by the way, just very quickly, from the leaders all the way down to 12th in the table is only separated by a grand total of 8 points.
It's a very close league.
Yes.
Very close league.
Anthony Barr says, is it the local connection with non-league, especially as you can hear players, they don't cover their mouths when talking to each other? Yes, you can actually hear the players. You do hear them quite a bit on the field. And
you can.
There's a few times I've actually picked up on my camera swearing. I think I picked one up the other night. And I was surprised YouTube hadn't picked it up and said, "Oh, you know, that needs to be cut out," but they didn't. So yeah, you do. And do you know what? To be fair, it is what it is. But that's part and parcel of it at the end of the day. So I'm going to come around the panel now. So, John, give your channel a shout out. Where people can find you on social media, and do go on to the channels as well if you haven't yet subscribed to them, and give these guys a subscribe as well, because you know they do a fantastic job.
Yeah, so my channel is called Gaming Blomp. If you wonder why it's got a daft name, it's because it started off as a gaming channel, and then when I discovered ground topping, I started doing my matchday vlog. So it's very similar to Tony's and James's channel. All my social media handles are Gaming Blomp, so you can find me on X. You can follow me on there. I am on Facebook as well, which is John Warren, so you can add me on there as well. I do post my vlogs on there. Main thing for my channel this season is the Southern League Premier Central Series, where I am, as I said to Tom earlier, I am ranking all 22 grounds out of 40 points, 8 done, 14 to go, and I'm not sure if I'm at Bishop Stortford or if I'm at Barwell on Saturday yet. There's a few conversations to be had, but I will be at a Southern League game, and I will be ranking a ground.
We'll look forward to that one then, John. And James, give your channel a shout out, mate.
Yes, so my channel is, as you can see on the screen, Non-League James Boyle, and it's basically a non-league channel looking at Lincolnshire non-league teams to start with, because that's where I'm from, and then also have gone a bit further afield this season and done a few teams around Peterborough and also Nottinghamshire. So I'm basically focusing, my channel is on non-league matches around like East Leicestershire, like East Nottinghamshire, so Nottingham and Lincolnshire side, and also like North Cambridgeshire as well on my channel this season. And so yeah, you can find me on most platforms. So that's Twitter, Facebook, and also Instagram. Is just if you just type in James Boyle, so it's James_Boyle on Twitter, and you'll find me over there.
That's brilliant. And you had a great time at FC Peterborough last week. You said they were very, very good to you there, and that's a club I think everybody's got to go and have a look at, and we shall check it out.
Yeah, it was very quickly. It was very surprising, that game and that ground, because it's a step 6 club, so it's the lowest step of non-league football, right? And my subscribers who on my channel picked it. It won by 1 vote, so they picked me to go there. And I'll be honest with you. Do you remember the football team Peterborough North Stars or Northern Stars?
No.
Well, if you don't know them, they stopped playing football in the 2020-21 season. I think they folded. I don't know what happened, but I think they went into administration and never existed. And Peterborough and FC Peterborough have their ground.
It did look nice on your vlog.
So yes. They have taken their ground up. It's a bit of a mixed match. I'm actually going to tell you a little bit about it before now. They have 2 stands you can stand in and 2 seated stands, which I counted in one of them because there's only one man in one. About 20 seats, so about 40 to 50 seats altogether. And the chairman was so lovely. The media guy straight away went, "What do you need?" And I said, "I don't know at the moment." And he said, "Were you looking for interviews?" I said, "It'd be nice if I could." And he said, "Right then, there's your striker, there's your manager, there's your chairman. Who would you like to speak to now?" And I said, "This has put me on the spot here." And I was like, the chairman, he went, "Perfect. He's just walking down here. I'll get him. Do you want the assistant chairman as well?" And I went, and the assistant chairman straight away went, "Nah, not me, please. The chairman, please." So it was like that. But he gave me some really good, if you guys go down, he gave me some really good secrets about what's going to happen and what their ambitions are off the video. So that I just, to people who probably don't know, it's Northeast Peterborough is where they are. And yeah, lovely club. Their ambitions are, one of the pitches next to the main pitch, they're going to put the best, I know you won't like this, John, but they're going to put the best artificial pitch in.
Then.
I don't know if that's going to be for like their teams to play on, but they said they want a pitch there so they can train on all year round instead of hiring out somewhere. The chairman also said his ambitions are to get promoted to step 5 and gave me a little insight to the league they're in, saying he doesn't like the league they're in, the East Counties League. And the only reason he said this is because of all the travelling to like Norfolk, Suffolk, and Essex area. He said he wishes there was more teams on the A1 they went to. So he said if they get promoted, he wishes they went into the UCL Premier Division South instead of the East Counties Premier. So that's what he was saying. But he was lovely, the people down there. And yeah, it was just a lovely atmosphere. Apparently, there was 88 people there. I couldn't tell there was, but it was lovely down there. And they lost to a really nice goal from Framlingham. So yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah, so I went to March the other night. That was a fantastic win for March United, March Town United rather, because Histon not been in form lately. But yeah, they won 3-0, and to think that, considering that is step 5 of the non-league pyramid, which is the 9th tier of English football. 325 fans there. That just shows you how much support there is in there. And when you think, when Tom was just on before, Needham Market of step 3, and they only get just over 300 fans. So when you think, you know, for the same amount of fans that you're getting at Needham Market, you're getting in the 9th tier of English football at March Town United. But that was a cracking game the other night. I was meant to interview the manager after the game, but the problem was there was a delay in the second half because they were trying to find the football, and the footballs are through on. The referee says they're too flat, so they eventually got a ball anyway, and there was about 14 minutes of added on time at the end of the game. So by the time the game finished, didn't finish like 10-10. And by then it was like nearly an hour to get home. So I said, no, I'm not going to. I'll have to go because I can't just hang around, because by the time we wait for the manager, you're talking, you could be waiting another 20 minutes. So that could be 10:10. Then by the time you've interviewed him, it could be 10:30 before I leave, and then it's 11:30 when I get home. So I thought I have to go. But hopefully I'll go back there again and get another interview with the manager. But as I say, it was absolutely fantastic there. And obviously, you know where you can find my channel, because you're on my channel now if you're there. But you may be stream sharing from John's channel. So my channel is called the Footy Channel Groundhopper. That's my Twitter handle there as well. And I am on TikTok as well with that handle. So, or if you type in Footy Channel Groundhopper, you'll find it on TikTok. I do lots of match vlogs, try and get interviews with managers. So do check that out as well. And look, it's been a terrific show tonight. And who will we have on next Thursday? Well, we're not sure yet, but you will find out. If you keep your eye on Twitter, you'll find out who the guest is next week, because I'm sure there's plenty of guests we can get on here.
Yep. There were people that me and John even know that we could maybe persuade to get on here. But I will just very quickly say they should keep. I know your video that you put out recently, John. They should keep to their promise there and buy you that season ticket.
Carlton Town, yeah.
Buy you
Carlton Town.
Carlton Town.
Carlton
Town are featured on my channel 5 times. They are one of my local sides, and they've won all 5 games on my channel. So, you know how superstitious football people are. I've got to go to every game now.
That's another one you could go to at the weekend.
I know.
It is just really, really, getting yourself a season ticket, John. That would be nice, wouldn't it, from Carlton Town?
Yeah.
But I'm just going to try. I'm just find out who this ref was again, because honestly, I'll tell you why in a moment. Then you can all have a laugh at this as well.
But no, generally, you should definitely get a season ticket there.
Harbour have also got 100% record on my channel. Yeah. They're not quite as many games, but yeah.
So as you said, it's Gedling your closest, and then that one.
Gedling's less than a mile from my house. Carlton is 2 miles from my house.
Because my closest, if you very want to know, is Sleaford Town. But the problem with that is I still have to travel like 30 minutes.
Yeah. I'm lucky enough to have a couple of clubs really close by.
Yeah, I don't have any close by. My closest actual football team, if you want to know very quickly, is playing in a district league, so they're like 2 steps below the non-league pyramid anyway. So
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do a little feature here, because I think this is a great feature to have. I used to do this feature before, so this is a great little feature, and
go for it.
This is called, there you go, Cock of the Week. So who is the Cock of the Week? Well, the Cock of the Week this week is Thomas Way. Now, Thomas Way was the referee between Mildenhall and Brightland Sea Regent. He was absolutely dreadful. Don't think the guy's ever played the game. Decisions he was given were very, very strange indeed. One of the worst referees I've ever seen. Hope I'd never come across this referee again, because he was absolutely awful. And I hope the adjudicator who was sitting in the stands, I hope he took note of how bad this referee actually was. So for me, Thomas Way gets that lovely award. He can be the Cock of the Week for this week. And I'm sure we can find another one for next week as well.
Sure we can.
So keep your eyes out, guys, when you're at football matches. If you see a Cock of the Week, let us know. But before we close the show, if you have enjoyed tonight's show, then follow Sean the Sheep and smash them thumbs up. That really does help the channels, up the search results. Also, if you're brand new to the channel, get down there, hit that subscribe, come and join this great community. Also hit the bell notification. That will tell you when I'm live, have a pre-record or any upcoming shows. And of course, you can always become a member at any time by clicking that join button. It is 99p per month. And as I say, at any time as well, you can also have a super chat, super thanks, whichever way you want to do it. Any money donated helps the channel grow, and also all money is reinvested back into the channel to bring you great vlogs and great shows as well. But thank you to the 2 guys on there tonight. And I'll just quickly speak to you backstage before we leave the show.
Just before we go,
yes.
Wanted to say, if you are watching, because it is streaming on my channel as well.
And I did get it on mine as well.
You've got it on yours as well. Brilliant.
Yes.
A regular feature, but this is Tony's show. So if you do like what you see, please go over to the Footy channel, Groundhopper, and subscribe to his channel. James Boyle as well, get subscribed to it. I'm not going to make it every week. I'll do my best to be here as often as I can, but Tony will run this every week. So this is his show. So it's a brilliant show as well. So please do come back.
And I'd say exactly the same. If you're on mine, definitely go and subscribe to the 2 people above me on the stream, because I'm in the bottom of the screen here. So yeah, do subscribe to them. And it is Tony's show. So really good show, Tony. Well done.
Lovely. Thank you very much, guys. And you can all see my new outro when we leave the stream. But as I say, I'll speak to you 2 lads backstage.
Brilliant.
So just hang on there. And here we go. Here's the outro. Thank you for watching, everybody. And we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye for now.
Bye.
Once again,